Mm, 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 mm. Ha! Hey, it's that time. Hey, we're about to have a conversation. And when I say we, I'm talking about bringing on diet free life coach, nutritionist, health weight loss coach, Miss Amy Prine, all the way from Darlington, Wisconsin. And we're going to talk about the detox drop. We're going to talk about how you can lose weight and not feel like you're on a diet. And then we're going to talk about how you can live a diet free life, meaning you don't gain the weight back. You don't lose the progress you've made with your blood pressure, the progress you've made with your fasting glucose, the progress you've made with your cholesterol. You literally find yourself living a lifestyle where everything is sustainable, meaning you can thrive and no longer have to cry. Now, I was hoping that would rhyme, but it didn't. So, anyway, let's get into this. Let's get into it now. And let's do it.
Author and nutritionist Robert Ferguson. Please welcome Robert Ferguson.
All right, y'all, let's hear it for America's Fat Loss Coach, Robert Ferguson!
So, I told you we would get into it. So, without further delay, I'm going to bring in one of the special coaches we have. She put on her very first coaching retreat very recently. And that is the one and only, you know what? Let's pause the music. Pause the music. Let's bring her on. I'm talking about Miss Amy Prine.
Hey, Robert, how are you?
Hey, you know what? Hey, look, I'm producing. That means I'm working like the boards. I'm doing all this stuff in the background. It's not always easy. But I told everybody we're going to talk about everything from the detox drop. I know that there's some questions that you've seen people have. We'll talk about your experience. I'm getting ready to do the detox drop myself starting Wednesday of next week, so a week from today. So whenever you're catching this, if you're catching it late, then I'll do it again. Then we're going to talk about how you can lose weight without feeling like you're on a diet, and then how you can experience sustainable outcomes, right? Taking a realistic approach. And that will help a lot of people, regardless if they're a client of yours or mine, regardless if they're doing Weight Watchers or I was about to say Jenny Craig, but they're no longer in business, or Noom or whatever diet they're doing. A lot of the things that we will share can help anyone who wants to live their best and healthiest life. So thank you, my dear friend. So how are you?
I'm good. Actually, I'm really excited. We finally got some long needed overdue rain. So it's been raining all day. So it's just wonderful.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, good. So
we got some, now, how are you personally?
good. Just got off the detox. Well, when we all did it, that was 2 weeks ago. Had really good results. So yeah, I'm doing good.
Okay. Well, I'm experimenting with a couple of things, my friend. So I'm gonna have a little bit of music playing in the background.
Music's good.
Now, when we say detox, let's just start right there because people may have questions, and those of you who are catching us live or you're catching a replay, feel free to post any questions, and we circle back and we'll answer your questions. And at the same time, you can always go to our YouTube channel, just search up Robert Ferguson or Diet Free Life, or the links that we make available, and subscribe so that whenever we have conversations or we share information that can be helpful, you will be informed, and then you can watch or listen at your convenience. Amy, a lot of people don't realize it, but YouTube, we think of it as like watching something. But oftentimes when I'm in my car driving, I'll have YouTube playing. I'm listening to it like it's the radio on my Bluetooth because I'm interested in the conversation or the seminar or whatever it is that I'm getting on YouTube. I treat it more like a podcast than I do a television.
I do that. It's the same exact thing. In the car for an hour or so, and I put on YouTube, and it's usually Diet Free Life. So it's very nice to have.
So that's when you catch up with me.
Exactly. Car time, catch up.
Okay, now, when we say detox drop, and then I'm going to ask you a question, Amy, about your experience.
Okay.
Many people, for those of you who are new to the detox drop, the detox drop is not your typical detox. It actually is exactly what a detox is supposed to be. See, most people think a detox is when you are drinking juice or you're barely eating anything, you're walking around starving, you're hangry, and you lose a lot of weight sometimes, and then the weight that you lose is water. And of course, then it comes back.
Comes right back on.
So our detox is not, when you think of a cleanse, it's not all of that. However, it's so much better because it's all framed around food as medicine. So you learn how to eat certain foods that are 100% nurturing your health. And then you're not eating certain things that can diminish your health. And as a result, you feel better, you experience weight loss, large majority of the time. I would say 99 point something percent of the people will lose weight. Some people could have severe levels of insulin resistance. And if they didn't lose weight, then we know that they have some serious insulin resistance. And the good news is that you can then address that problem. So our detox really is about detoxing away from the things that may be hindering your health, consuming things that are nurturing your health, and you're not going to be hungry and all these things, and then putting you in a position where you got a fresh start. So I have a few cool things I want to talk about, and I want to give a highlight to Cindy V, and also one of my clients, Melissa B, who I talked to this morning, who's getting ready to do the detox. Cindy just did the detox, and I'm going to share with you why what worked for Cindy is something that's going to help Melissa. But anyway, share with us Amy, what's your experience with the detox?
My experience was, I was very happy with my experience. First of all, like you said, we're eating real food. I remember back in the day, your first detox where we did do a lot of drinking, and I have to admit that was
not drinking vodka and Jack.
No. That would have been much better compared to what it was. So with this new updated, I say it's more the updated.
Is it updated?
The detox, it's phenomenal. It is, you're eating, like you said, food for medicine, which is our food. I was not hungry at all. My results were, I lost 3 pounds, which I was happy with. I felt, for me, Robert, the most important thing was how I felt. I felt so energized. I had energy. I wasn't tired. And I wasn't hungry. I've never had that before because I'm usually hungry, as you know, a lot. So it just did so much for me. My blood sugar levels went down. I am working on my uric acid. So your smoothie, the recipe in there, I'm still doing that. And for the most part, I'm still following the food menu just because you feel so good. So with the uric acid, getting back to that, with your recommendation, the cherries, so my uric acid has come down. So I can't say more than enough about the detox. It's phenomenal.
Well, you bring up a point when you say 3 pounds, there's a woman right now that's 230 pounds going, only 3 pounds? Well, look at Amy. It's not like she's 200 pounds.
Right.
So if you're 130 pounds and you're eating and you drop 3, 4, 5 pounds in 7 days, and that's really cool. But when you're improving health markers like fasting glucose, uric acid, which a lot of people aren't even aware of, and they only think about it when it comes to gout or maybe kidney stones. But uric acid is one of those things that's causing a lot of people to have high blood pressure. Uric acid is also one of those things that contributes towards fatty liver. And people just don't know that yet. So if you're able to identify uric acid and then put yourself on a path where you can start to bring it down when it's elevated, man, you're improving your health. And I really believe, Amy, that a lot of people, more today than ever, are interested in feeling better, improving their health. If they lose weight, great. But to feel better and to improve health, especially for us people over 40 years of age, health starts to become more important than what I look like in a bikini.
Exactly.
Come on.
And I've had, not many people, but I had one or two people say, well, why are you doing the detox? You don't need to lose weight. And what you had said, Robert, that was exactly my answer. I want to improve my metabolic, which is, your blood pressure, your uric acid, everything inside. I want to improve that. And I feel like I did. I've got a good start on lowering my uric acid. And prior to this, I didn't even understand uric acid. I mean, I knew what it did, what it caused, but I never ever thought that I would have the high uric acid. So it's amazing. So I would recommend it to anybody.
All right, I'm with you. Now, I know since we're talking about the detox drop, there is one little change, and for those of you who have done the detox drop, you're probably going to do it again. You're hearing it for the first time. We've made an edit to the detox drop booklet and how the guidelines work. So, when you wake up in the morning, the very first thing you do when you're doing the detox drop is you drink water with like half a lemon squeezed into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's step one. Well, what we didn't have and what we've changed, okay, so you hear it now, is that when you drink the water, not just any kind of water, you want lukewarm water. So lukewarm water with squeezed lemon first thing in the morning. Not throughout the day, just first thing in the morning. And that helps you optimize peristalsis, helping to get your intestinal tract really working and moving. It helps everything be optimized, right? Even the vitamin C that you're getting with the lemon. And what some people will notice is that it will help them become more regular. So by drinking lukewarm water with the squeezed lemon, and trust me, there's probably 20 things I could talk about, but I want to keep it short. It can definitely help, even if you're not doing a detox or not, or if you have a client who's like, I haven't gone, number 2 in a couple days, 3 days, 4 days. Aside from other things that we can recommend to people, lukewarm. When you wake up in the morning, lukewarm water with half a squeezed lemon.
Okay, so if I could stop you there, because I know I've been asked this, and I'm sure there's people thinking this. Can you? So I'll refer to myself. So I drink a gallon, and that's interesting because I've been drinking my water room temperature. The reason for me is I can drink it faster because I like to drink a lot of water throughout the day. So the question is, it's fine to use a whole lemon, correct?
You can use a whole lemon if you want.
Okay. Because I've been asked that.
I'm on a budget, Amy. So I have to do a half a lemon.
Okay.
Then all I need is 4 lemons a week.
Okay, I'm not on a budget, right?
Yeah, you're banking. So Amy's banking, everybody. She can do a whole lemon.
Let me know. I'll ship lemons out.
Big old lemons.
Yep.
Do you have a lemon tree?
Yeah, I have a lemon tree. I'll just ship them all out. So yeah, I've been asked that. So I figured there's probably people that are wondering the same thing. So.
All right. Well, as you can see, Miss Susie, Coach Susie says, "What's up?" She's catching us while she's probably eating some tacos or something. Or actually, you know what? I said tacos because I'm thinking it was Tuesday. It's actually Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Maybe, so what rhyme with Wednesday? Like maybe she's eating is it a Waggle burger? Is that?
We'll make it.
All right. Yeah.
Make it exist. Yep.
Yeah. You're eating something to start with a W. Okay. Okay. Now, while we're here, and we have a lot to cover. You said you had some questions about the detox drop. So for those who have done it or who may do it, I'll answer your questions. Let's talk about it.
Okay. So I've been asked a couple times. So the breakfast that we have is a protein and a fat, and that is it. So what I've been asked is, can I add in a carb with that? And my answer was no. And I said I would definitely confirm that with Robert. It's there for a reason, the fat and the protein. If you read the manual, that's what it says. So go by that. So I said I would ask that, and you could explain that into further detail.
Okay. And your answer is correct.
Okay.
So the way the detox drop works, right? You have a meal plan, you have an eating plan, and that's what you follow. You don't add anything, you don't take away anything. Now, there's alternatives. If you didn't like avocado, for instance, then maybe you like cheese.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't like cheese, maybe you'll eat pumpkin seeds. So there's ways, we have alternatives for all the different foods that are recommended. So then it can work for everyone's palate preference.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't add or take away anything.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're not, you can't say, "Oh, it didn't work." Well, if you change something, don't put that on us. That's on you.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we have people eating that, as we explain specifically, right? So when a person gets the detox drop, they log into the site. Then they have 6 steps that they just click through. And in those steps, it helps you prepare and it gives you insight to why you're doing what you're doing, meaning, why are you eating this instead of that?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have, like, why are we drinking water with lemon? Why are we eating our breakfast in the morning with a protein source, let's say eggs, or maybe cottage cheese,
Mm-hmm.
Greek yogurt? Like, so you get these proteins to choose from, and then you have the option to add a fat to it. Avocado, could be cheese, could be pumpkin seeds, right? That does something hormonally that puts you in a position where you're not hungry, where you slow gastric emptying as far as your body's, it breaks down and processes food much slower. And it puts you in a position where you don't have elevated insulin that causes you to gain weight, right? So your insulin levels are down and you feel good. You're not even hungry.
Right.
That's the number one thing I've heard from people who have done this detox drop. They go, "This is weird. I'm not even."
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I have to clarify, what is a detox, like a cleanse. Like, okay, most people think you're going to be hungry, and you're not hungry.
You're not hungry.
So
You're
I don't
not
know why.
hungry.
Hey, if anyone's aware of this and they haven't done it yet, God bless them. I hope they wake up and they realize there's an opportunity to learn how to eat food in a way that it becomes medicine, and
Mhm.
medicine that can help with a lot of metabolic issues, as well as help a person drop some body fat.
Right. It's
So I think
wonderful.
we answered that one.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um,
Okay. Now, what's next? What's next? You got another question, or should we move on?
I have one more question, and it does not refer to the detox. I've had people ask about ketchup. Okay, so I know ketchup is a condiment.
Okay, let me interrupt just for a second. So for those of you who are new to this conversation, we have a methodology called Diet Free Life. And in the Diet Free Life methodology, you learn how to eat food in a way, and I'm talking about portions as well as combinations, how you combine foods to improve health, to lose weight, etc. So you're eating regular, everyday, real food. And ketchup is part of what we call a fat burning meal. So now they have I just wanted to frame that for them. Okay.
Okay. So with ketchup being a condiment, and so everybody knows, we can use ketchup, and we can have anything in the Diet Free Life methodology. So portion size, if I'm correct on this, I think way back when you said if it was 4 tablespoons or more, then we need to count that as a fast carb.
Actually, I mentioned to you, yes.
Okay.
Actually, it would be a slow carb.
A slow carb.
Yes. And so I gave you, I misstepped on that.
Okay.
Right. So what happens is, let's say someone has a tablespoon or 2 of ketchup, because maybe they're going to eat some French fries. So the French fries would be what we call a fast carb.
Mhm.
And then you have a condiment, which adds flavor to the food, right?
Right.
That does. What if someone just starts dumping ketchup on it? And I've seen people do that.
I have 2.
I believe it was Gerald Ford, former president. I believe it was him. I could be wrong, but he was big on cottage cheese and ketchup, and he was just dumping on there. Well, it's not a condiment when you use that much. So when it's a condiment, it's a smaller amount. Then if you eat a whole bunch of it, then it becomes what we call a portion. And so because ketchup comes from tomatoes, it's a slow carb because tomatoes are a slow carb.
Okay.
And so you keep it to 4 tablespoons as one portion of a slow carb if you really feel you need to have that much ketchup.
Okay. All
And
right.
I've been in a situation where I had fries, and let's say I had some fish. Then the fish is my protein, the fries is my fast carb, and instead of having a slow carb like a vegetable, I'll just add more ketchup.
Okay.
And that would make it work.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So are we done with the detox? Any other questions? Anybody have a question about the detox?
Does it have to be distilled water?
It does not have to be distilled water.
Okay.
Okay. It's recommended, but it does not have to be distilled water.
Okay.
Matter of fact, like Susie, who I think is still catching us live, one of her clients was concerned with the distilled water. Someone in her family said, she may be low on electrolytes if she's not drinking water that has, electrolytes in it, like sodium, chloride, etc. And so she just went back to purified water because she was a little nervous about not consuming water without salt in it. I've never had a problem with anyone. I go distilled all the way. My results are best with me because I'm getting electrolytes from the foods that I'm eating.
Right.
I'm getting salt and potassium because I'm eating food.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need to get it through the water.
Right.
Right. So
I did all the distilled water too when I did it.
Yeah. So it is optional.
Okay. Okay. I just want to confirm that too because I was asked that question too. So, yeah,
right.
that's what I have.
Okay. So let's shift over. And I want to give a shout out. I gave a shout out on Facebook to Cindy V, who's actually catching us live.
Congratulations, Cindy. That is awesome.
I mean, it is awesome. So you guys, Cindy is a friend. She's also a client. And she is someone who reached out and she gave me the opportunity to be her coach. At that point, she was 181 pounds. I believe her waist was 39 inches. And her body fat was it was 41.9, like 42%. And, my publicist who you've met, remember Steve Allen?
Yes.
Steve Allen used to always say, Robert, you're only as good as the horse you ride in on. And he would say that to me because, let's say I went on CNN or I went on Fox or I went on some TV show. And they would go, man, Robert was great. We want to bring him back. So Steve would call me with the good news. Hey, the producer said you were great. I go, oh, man, thank you, Steve. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. He goes, hey, I'm only as good as the horse I ride in on. And if you're my horse, Robert, if you do a good job, then it's good. I say that because Cindy, I'm only as good as the clients who do the work.
Exactly.
You follow me? Same as you.
Definitely.
We know the methodology works. It's just a matter of, are they going to work it? And Cindy, she's one of those kind of people, God-fearing woman who went to work. And she went from 181 to 135.
Good for her.
When your waist goes from 39 to 29, you feel pretty damn good.
I would say. And
when your body fat, which we get, your percentage drops from 42 to 30. And, this is no, knock on Cindy, but she ain't 25. You know what I mean? We're all over 50. Okay, or at least over 40, right? So Cindy, she's 60 plus, and she took the bull by the horns and went to work.
That is wonderful.
Stayed the course. And I'm still, and so I got excited about it because Cindy had asked me for her carb threshold score. Have I updated it? Because she wanted to know where it was. And so when I had her on the phone, I said, yeah, I had. And I opened up her file and I can see I keep data on everyone, same as you. And I'm looking at where she started. I'm like looking at her number. I'm going, Wow. Wow. You know what I mean? And then I go, and your score went from a 7 to like over 60, which is the gold standard. That's where you want to be.
Good for her.
That's impressive.
It's very impressive. Yeah, she stayed the course, followed everything that you said, and it works. If people do the methodology and do the recommendations that we do, it works. It works.
And you know what's interesting, Amy? Like, and this is part of the diet free life part. I was talking to someone yesterday, and we were having a conversation. We were talking about fasting, and we were talking about different diets, and then I brought up the fact that when I'm around a lot of I have friends who promote intermittent fasting. They promote it, they encourage it, they're on Facebook talking about it, and I mean, talk about like something that's interesting. Let me turn off the music. When I'm talking to my friends who promote it, some of them do it, I ask them this question: why do you do it? And I'm going to answer that for you. And they all stare at me. And I say, you promote intermittent fasting because you don't know how to eat. If you knew how to eat, you wouldn't promote intermittent fasting. Should I say that one more time, or did you get it?
I got that. And what was their response?
Well, they just stare at me because they don't really know what else to say. It can come across almost insulting, right? Because I'm looking at them saying, you don't know how to eat. That means you don't, here you are, you're a professional in nutrition, you're a professional in fitness, and you don't know how to eat. And so they don't know how to respond. And then I explained to them, I said, look, if you have a client who did intermittent fasting that lost 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 200 pounds, I have someone who ate regular food and lost the same amount of weight. And I bet you I have more people who have lost more weight or the same weight than you.
And keep it off.
And keep it off. And so then they don't know what to do, right? So what's your thoughts on that?
I agree 100%. When they're definitely going to lose the weight. I've seen it. I mean, I know people that have done it. Same with, what's the other one that's out there? The low carbs. They lose all of the weight, but once they get off it, they've gained it all back plus. So, like I've told you in the past too, Robert, when I started way back in the day, it was Food Lovers, and I lost like 35 pounds. I mean, I've basically kept it off eating. The occasional drink that I may have, going to weddings, social get-togethers, social gatherings, eat and yeah, it may be 1 to 2 pounds, but I've basically for all those years, 15 plus years, have kept it off. So that speaks for itself right there.
I mean, it says everything.
It does.
Right. And for those of you who maybe you've gotten off track, maybe you're aware of the Diet Free Life methodology. Maybe you've been coached by me or coached by Amy or coached by any of the coaches, and you gain your weight back. Here's my plea to you. Do not let your ego block you from coming back.
Exactly.
Do not beat yourself up. It's okay. I mean, it happens to all of us. I mean, one of the reasons why I'm doing the DETOX drop is that I got some goals. And in about 10 weeks, I'm doing a video / photo shoot. And I mean, I feel like at this moment in time, like my workouts have been all over the place because of work. I am what I experience with many of my clients. And so whenever that would happen, and I used to say this all the time when I would, like I would have a glass of wine with dinner. And it was 2 glasses of wine. Then it was the bottle, right? And that was my sign to do the detox.
Yep. Buckle down. Yep.
And I would do the detox. At the time, it was a 6-day detox drop. And after 6 days, I had no cravings for wine.
Mm-hmm.
I was good.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm getting ready to do the detox.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, for the next 3 or 4 months, I'm gonna do the detox drop probably once a month. So basically every 21 days, I'm gonna do the detox drop.
Okay. I was going to ask you that. How often are you going to do it? So I think I'm going to jump on the way going to do it next week with you.
Because I have some goals, and it will help me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's another thing that I'm working on that I haven't shared yet, is that the supplement, right? The 7 days, what I call the Vita Blend.
Mm-hmm.
I am working really hard, and I'm close to it, to be able to make that as a 30-day supplement blend. That if someone wants to continue doing that at a good price, a better price, they will be able to get like a 30-day supply.
That's wonderful because I've actually had 2 clients ask me that. So
Yeah.
that's
No.
wonderful. And I would do that.
Because I am I didn't even see that coming. And when I was talking to Coach Susie, she had brought it to my attention also. And then I was like, you know what? Let me look into that, because I was feeling the same way.
Mm-hmm.
That because as I was putting together the profile of supplements for the detox drop, each supplement plays a huge role.
Mm-hmm.
And so why only make that available for 7 days when
Mm-hmm.
someone can make that part of their daily regimen?
Mm-hmm.
And these are all really good supplements. Like there's a couple, well, there's like there's 5 supplements that you take, almost like a power pack, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the blend is designed, I went in originally going, okay, it needs to be something that's going to improve their bifidobacteria in their gut microbiome. So it's designed to do that, number one. So then there's studies that support it. Then number 2, I was like, it needs to be a supplement blend that will help bring down uric acid. Okay. It needed to be a supplement blend that would help with fat oxidation for people who want to drop body fat or not store it. And so all of the, and it needed to be something that's going to help overall health and our immune system. And there you go.
So our metabolic health.
Exactly. So that's where, I'll know soon. I will know soon. Okay.
Sooner than later.
Yes. But with regards to Cindy, I just think Cindy's a great example. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm giving a shout out to one of my clients named Melissa. So Melissa B, I hope you catch this. Melissa was 200 pounds when I started coaching her. She got down to 160. She hit 159 for a second, then back to 160. Then 161, 160, 163, 161, 162, 160, and she's been stalled for a while.
Kind of teeter-totter.
Yes. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because Cindy was at that same place. Cindy got down, 142, 141, 143, 144, 141, 142. And here's the drum roll. She did the detox drop. She drops down to 138. Boom. She loses 5 pounds. So when she started the detox drop, she's 143. She goes to 138. And here's the part that I want people to get. After she completed the detox drop, 2 weeks later, she's 135.
Wow.
That demonstrates that it's not just water weight.
Definitely. Because if it was water weight, she would have had that right back on.
So you have people that are like stuck, like they're probably 145. They really want to get under 140, but they're really like, it's not happening. And then they go, maybe I'll do that detox drop, but then I'm just going to gain it back. No.
That's wonderful. And as you say, stay the course. You get done with the detox, the 7 days, you stay on the diet-free life methodology and you've got it.
Yep. Yep. And more and more, I'm wanting to go public with this because intermittent fasting is so promoted, right? So I have this new client, Amy, and she says, you know, we want one of our first goals is to get people to eat 3 meals a day, right? You with me?
Yes.
Okay. So 3 meals a day. And so she calls me on our first coach call. She goes, I'm not really into 3 meals a day. And I go, okay. And why is that? I'm not hungry in the morning. Now, this is a 51 or 53-year-old woman, early 50s. And I say, okay, so you're not hungry in the morning. She goes, yeah, maybe I'll just eat lunch and dinner. So she's telling me how the program's going to work. I said, okay, well, look, I'm all about you being informed. Like doctors have this thing, part of their oath is informed consent. So before you consent to taking a drug or a vaccine or like doing whatever with your health, the doctor's job is that you're informed. So you can make a decision based on being informed.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
So I said, so let me give you some information so you're informed. And if you choose not to eat breakfast, hey, you're a grown ass woman and you can do what works best for you. But as your coach, my job is to make sure you're informed. And she says, okay, well, inform me. I said, okay. When you're over the age of 50, and we know this even recently in a very solid study, between the ages of 50 and 80, when you lose weight, if the majority of that weight loss, we're talking 8%, is coming from skeletal muscle, you increase your risk of heart attack by 300%. So when you lose muscle, skeletal muscle, that makes it possible for me to stand up, for me to grab this cup of tea, for me to like go work out, for me to go get groceries, that's skeletal muscle. And I don't want to lose any of that because when you're older, after the age of 40, it's really hard to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see an increased risk of osteoporosis. You see frailty, people going into hospitals with hip fractures. Many of them never come back out.
And is it safe to say, Robert, more so in women too, like bone density?
100%.
Okay.
If you're losing skeletal muscle, you're losing bone density.
Yep.
So she goes, okay, what help me out? She wasn't getting it. And I wasn't expecting her to get it yet. And I said, here's the deal. If you don't eat protein in the morning, and protein, when you eat it, it eventually breaks down and becomes amino acids. Those amino acids, once they get into circulation, come together and they create skin and nails and hair and hormones and enzymes. So if you don't consume protein, which the number one time to consume protein is first thing in the morning. Now, you don't have to have a protein source. It could be fruits and vegetables. You can get the same amino acids from fruits and vegetables. But if you don't have an adequate amount of protein, where are your enzymes going to get that protein? Where are those hormones going to get those amino acids, this protein? Where are they going to get it? You're going to break down skeletal muscle. The muscle that you have will break down and become amino acids so that those hormones and enzymes can do and get what they need. And whatever they don't use gets converted to glucose in your body.
Interesting.
So don't eat and decline your skeletal muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Once she became informed,
she's eating breakfast.
She's eating breakfast. Hallelujah.
Yep.
That's
you go. Good.
There you go.
Yep, we need to be informed.
Yep. So if anybody got any questions about that, bring it. Oh, early when I was giving Susie a hard time, she just posted, she says she was on her way to do her workout. I was just kidding, Susie. You don't got me. We get it. Okay. Okay. So I think I'm done with that part of unless you have another question about
No,
that.
I'm good on that.
And anyway, so Melissa, after I talked to her today and I shared with her Cindy's story, how she broke through a stall in her weight loss, right? That plateau. Melissa's doing the detox with me. We're starting together. She's going to do it with me day to day. So we're rocking and rolling. And I'll
Good.
come back and I'll report because she's been stalled at 160.
Mm-hmm.
I predict she will go down to 155, 156, and then that'll be her new place, which would be 45-pound weight loss for her.
That's amazing. Good for her.
So there you have it.
Good for her. That's wonderful. Would you recommend? I'm going to be taking on a new client, and she has ordered the detox already. Would you recommend starting the methodology first or the detox? She's excited to do both. So
Okay, so the good news is that she has you as a coach. Okay. Having a coach can help her be informed and choose the right path and make it work either way. Some people, I think it really comes down to her, right? So when you talk to her, some people are like, I'm going to start with the detox. Okay. And that's a good place to start because the first week of you teaching her the methodology, she's eating primarily, protein sources and slow carbs.
mm-hmm.
So that's a great way to transition off of the detox so that she can maintain the progress that she made and then continue making progress. So some people, and a lot of people, I think from a motivational standpoint, are on a high and they're willing to do almost anything when they first start. So you could do that before, they work with you as a coach. A person can do the detox before they do the 8-week fat loss challenge. And then if you flip it, I would say go 30 days of being coached by you. Right when her body's going to start to plateau, do the detox then.
Do the detox. Okay.
So that's what I would do. I would go either start off with it and then transition into her first, 28, 30 days with you, or learn the methodology, right? Because what happens, how like in the beginning with the detox, you don't make fat burning meals the way you do without the detox.
Right.
So people like that beginning of the detox so much that they're like, I want to keep eating like this,
Mm-hmm.
which they could. But I also am a big believer that it's kind of like if you eat peanut butter and you say, I love peanut butter, right? So I have someone who eats Greek yogurt, protein, and they put peanut butter in the Greek yogurt, fat, and that's how they start their day, which is fine. As she was doing the detox.
Mm-hmm.
Then I said, after the detox, she said she wants to keep doing that. And I kind of pushed her to not just keep doing it because she likes it. And it's one of those things, if you just keep doing this, eating the same thing because you like it, eventually you'll get to that place. Not all people, but I'm going to say most, where you can't even look at peanut butter. You can't even think about eating that food because you ate it so often, so frequently,
Mm-hmm.
right? That you don't even want to. I'd never eat it again.
And I feel too, it's good to kind of get a really good variety of foods too, to switch it up.
Amen.
Okay.
Yep, you got it.
So
You got it.
I got it.
You got it. There's a song. You got it. Okay. All right. So next topic. Where do you want to go? What do you want to talk about, Amy?
Let's see. What else could we talk about? Trying to think of some questions that I've had with clients.
Well, let me see if someone else has a question. Let me see. Gloria, what's up there, Gloria? Gloria, good to see you there, Gloria. I hope you're doing well. She says, great information. Thanks, Robert. Hey, good to see you. Gloria is a really wise, smart lady. You know what? I would say one of the things that I wanted to like bring up right now as we're talking. So we have we can't go over. We have less than 15 minutes.
Okay.
So if anyone has any questions, me and Amy are here to answer your questions. Feel free to like, if you're catching us live, post them. It could be about anything that deals with weight loss, gaining weight properly, improving health with food, getting off blood pressure medication, getting off statins. You want to get off of that stuff. But someone had brought a question to my attention about lupus, autoimmune disorder. And I've worked with a lot of people with lupus. Now, the same answer I'm going to give about lupus, I would give about high blood pressure. I would give about high cholesterol. I would give about almost any condition because the Diet for Life methodology meets it. The only time when it starts to get even more customized is when we know certain foods will make your situation worse, like gout. We know that purines, which is very high in certain types of foods, causes gout or uric acid to be elevated, right? So like when you did the detox, if you want to bring your uric acid levels down, because we know that it also impacts a lot of parts of our metabolic health, then even eating asparagus or lentils, right? Eating certain spinach, high in purines that can cause a flare up or slowly put a person in a position where they get gout. And once you get gout, it's kind of like you got it for a long time. You're probably never going to reverse it. You just eat in a way and live your life so you can minimize the flare-ups. So you don't want gout, man. Have you ever seen someone with gout, Amy?
No, but I've heard people talk about it that know people. And when I found out that my uric acid was high, it scared me. And all of the foods that you loved, that you just said to stay away from, those are the foods that I love, like asparagus. But you know what? I haven't had asparagus since. And I know you told me that I could, once a week would be fine. But my health means so much to me that I'm just avoiding it. And I know eventually I can bring it back down. And I think people that they're concerned about their health, you really have to take that to heart, because I don't want gout. I also don't want there's so many. So you have to have the you have to stay the course.
Right. Well, okay.
And it is hard. It's hard to give up those.
Right. When you said that, I could feel you. So, all right. So we got some questions. If you guys have questions, send them our way. But let's address this question from Leanne. Leanne says, I'm 51 going through menopause. And no matter what I am doing, eating healthy, working out regularly, I am not able to lose the recently 20 pounds that came on due to menopause. At least that is what my doctor told me. Number one, your doctor does not know. They don't. Let's just say a large majority don't know. I mean, since I've been in this space, I've helped 23 physicians lose over 100 pounds. Now, I've helped a whole bunch of physicians lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, but 23 since 1995 lose over 100 pounds.
That's
and the
impressive.
most weight, I think you met Dr. Bernadette.
Mm-hmm.
She ended up losing 165 pounds. And it's not that they don't know. That's not their field of expertise. On average, between the Europe as well as the U.S., in medical school, they get on average 11 hours of nutrition education. In 6 years, 11 hours.
That's sad.
Right? So also, she brought up with menopause, which we work with a lot of people. So one thing, Leanne, you haven't done, unless I don't know it, you definitely are not my client. So if you're my client, we would probably, we would be making progress. Or you haven't worked with one of our coaches. So if you feel you've done everything, Leanne, I would say reach out.
Reach out to a coach.
Yeah. And we can help you out. Okay. But I'm going to give you some suggestions, because she says, any suggestions? And then she says, I've always been active, healthy, and for this to occur is very hard to deal with when nothing is working to get the weight off. Okay. So let me throw out a couple of tips for you. One, she does work out I don't know, are you have you gone through menopause yet, Amy?
Yeah, and in fact, I was just going to jump in on that too. So,
okay, well, share something, and then I'll share my thoughts.
I've been a very lucky one. Menopause did not affect me at all. So I was very lucky.
She don't want to hear that.
I know she doesn't want to hear that. But what I will say is I've gone through some, and you know this, Robert, too, with coaching me. I've been kind of like Cindy. I've stayed kind of teeter-totter that 1 or 2 pounds. I really believe that the detox would help her, and following the methodology, just like we talked about.
Well, she would have to learn the methodology.
Right. But like you've already talked about, do the detox, get a jump start on it, because that's really I feel that would really be a major help to Leanne.
Okay.
And I feel that's what's helped me is the Diet Free Life methodology, because I feel if you're following and you're eating the way that we teach people to eat, you're not going to struggle like that.
Well, you can definitely reduce your symptoms.
Reduce it, right.
So one, I would say make sure you're performing resistance training at least 3 times a week. Anyone who goes through menopause, resistance training is your friend. Like, hit the weights hard. 2, eat the way we recommend. That's going to help. But 3, I was talking to this hormone specialist who helps women with menopause, and I brought up a study that they didn't even know about. I was like, how can you say you're a specialist around menopause and you're not aware of this? And the study demonstrated that if you had symptoms of menopause, if you snacked on a half cup of edamame beans, soybeans, you reduce your symptoms by over 90%. Now, you can Google this and you'll come across an article. If someone says they know about menopause and they don't know about that study, how much do they really know about menopause? If the doctor is not saying hit the weights 3 times a week or encouraging you to eat a certain way, how do you know about menopause? If you're not aware that having adequate amounts, not just vitamin D, but vitamin C, can help you optimize your ability to burn fat and lose the weight. And that's why I think a lot of people with the detox are getting excited and like the idea of continuing with the supplements, because they feel like that's playing some role. And we do kick it off with the right amount of vitamin C. And then you're eating in a way where food as medicine, you're still getting the adequate amount of vitamin C through food. So we're not pushing people to only supplement. We're pushing people to learn how to eat food, right? Because there's a lot of people that are consuming supplements, then they're hindering their health.
Right.
All these supplements out there are not helping everybody.
Right.
And the people who push supplements, a lot of companies, network marketing companies, they're pushing supplements. That's their whole thing, supplements. Mm-hmm. And I get it, because that's a side gig for a lot of people. It's a livelihood for a whole bunch of people. But where's the education on nutrition?
And with what you just said, half cup of the soybeans, there you go again. Food is medicine.
Right. Instead of just taking another product.
Mm-hmm. So, Robert, when would you take that? Any time of the day with a meal?
Anytime. It would become a snack. Yes.
Okay. Become a snack. Okay.
Let me see. Sandy, your dear friend Sandy. And I hope some of that information helps you, Leanne. And you can always email us directly. We'll help you the best we can. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be a client. A big part of our ministry, if you will, is to share the truth and share information. Mm-hmm. Sandy asked about a friend with lipedema. Is there certain foods that could help her? Well, Linda, who just lost 102 pounds, who had a lot of inflammation and was taking some medications for that inflammation, followed the Diet Free Life methodology, Sandy, and there's no more medication and there's no more of that inflammation. And Linda's your friend. Talk to Linda. Now, Linda is definitely one of those people who's a client. She never I don't know if Linda was this way, and if Linda, if you're catching this, but Linda, when I worked with her and coached her, to get off of all these meds, right? Blood pressure medication, uh, statins, uh, allergy pills, inflammation, edema. Like, I don't know what she was like years ago, but this woman followed the plan. She did everything like right, and now she's thriving. So there's something to be said, because you can coach some people, Amy, and they'll be like, "Oh, this weekend my cousin came over. Yeah, they brought the angel cake. I hadn't had it, and then we had some ice cream, but I'm back." That was not Linda. Linda, I mean, she just made her mind.
She was mentally there. She was mentally there.
At 249 pounds, she just made her. She goes, "Robert, tell me what to do. Let's go."
Mm-hmm.
And I
So
was
her
like, okay.
her health was very, very important to her. So,
Well, health, I don't know what it was. It could have been a man. I don't know. All I know is that the woman did everything I asked her to do. And look at her now. She's down 102 pounds. And I was talking to her the other day. I said, "How much were you spending on medications?" And let's just round it off. I think it was like $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. Her insurance company was probably spending about $8,000, maybe to $9,000 a year.
mm-hmm.
So now the insurance company is no longer spending that money because she ain't spending that money.
Right.
So her small investment in letting me be her coach has saved her $1,200 a year. And
Good
she
for
just
her.
happens to look better. She happens to feel better. She's just better.
Mm-hmm.
And then she don't have to be one of those people in 3 years that has all these side effects from the medications that starts to ruin their kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, help me out.
Right.
At the end of the day, and Leanne said thank you, and we appreciate you, Leanne. At the end of the day, like Sandy, because Sandy made a comment or asked a question about asthma. This is what I know about asthma. Many clients that I've worked with that have had asthma, as they lose weight and feel better, they have better control of their situation with asthma. Some people I've worked with over the years, especially like with some kids, asthma disappears. Whatever drug a person takes, right? For whatever the situation, if you read the instructions at the very bottom of that list, it will always say results vary based on your nutrition and activity.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to optimize your health, whether you have asthma, whether you have lupus, whether you have gout, whether you just feel horrible, whether you are inflamed, the way you eat and your activity play a huge role in how things are going to work out for you. That's it.
I agree.
Right? And most people are like, is there another medication I can take? No. Whatever med you take, results are largely dependent on how you eat and how active you are. That's it.
Yep. The medication is
All right, we got 2 minutes. We got to get out of here. 2 minutes, Amy.
the medication is the easy route, I think. But for me, I think that's what a lot of people think. But for me, the food and activity. Would you say that resistant training is more important than cardio? My answer would be yes.
I hate those kind of questions.
Okay, that's fair.
Right, because we live in a world like one of my Australian clients the other day. She's like, in the news every day they're talking about, is it more important to exercise or is it more important to eat better? I'm like, what? See,
no.
these games, they both are helpful. Is it better to beat your wife on Friday? Is it, you know what I mean? It's like, come on.
Okay.
I mean, help me out. They both are important. Now, If I couldn't do cardio and I was over 40 years of age and they were going to lock me up and I was going to be in chains, and the only time I could exercise, they're like, you can't do cardio or you can't do resistance training. You can only do one or the other. And if you start to do resistance and you start to do cardio, we're going to shoot you. Okay, what would I do? I would do resistance training.
Okay.
Under that type of situation. The gun is to my head. You can only perform cardio or you can only perform resistance training. That's the only time I go, I'm going to do resistance training.
Okay.
Because I'm still working my cardio in resistance training.
Right. And I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
I can get my heart rate up pretty good when I'm doing the resistant training. So.
Yeah. Any other questions before Amy, Prine, and Robert Ferguson say goodbye? Any last questions you have for me there, Amy?
I do not. We covered a lot. So thank you.
Okay. Well, I got the music coming in. That means we're about to wrap it up. If anybody wants to get in touch with Amy Prine, you can reach her wherever. But give me your website, Amy Prine.
AmyPrine.com.
Wow, that's pretty easy.
That's very easy. Very, very easy.
All right, you guys. So you can learn more about Amy Prine. You can reach out to her. You can contact her. You can go to amyprine.com. And if you want to reach out to me, you can reach me at dietfreelife.com. And that was fun, Amy. Thank you.
It was. I enjoyed it. So thank you very much. Great
All right,
information. And thanks to everybody for joining us.
Until the next one, stay there, Amy. We're going to chat before you and I can disconnect. But you want to say goodbye to everybody else? You want to say goodbye?
Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye-bye.